In a sudden and tense escalation in the South China Sea, the Philippines was caught off guard on November 25, 2025, when Chinese warships began shadowing a joint U.S.-Philippine naval patrol near disputed reefs. This wasn't a chance encounter. It was a deliberate and calculated display of naval power. What started as a routine presence patrol quickly turned into a high-stakes standoff, as People's Liberation Army Navy vessels maneuvered dangerously close, mirroring the movements of the Allied ships and challenging their formation. This shadowing incident marks a significant turning point, adding immense pressure to an already fragile security situation, and raising serious concerns about the potential for miscalculation. In this naval intelligence breakdown, we'll dissect precisely what happened, how Beijing's actions fit into its broader gray zone strategy, and how this confrontation is forcing the U.S.-Philippine alliance to rethink its entire approach to maritime security. The day began like any other for the joint patrol. Philippine and U.S. vessels were conducting freedom of navigation operations, a standard practice designed to uphold international law and ensure open sea lanes in the West Philippine Sea. These patrols are a cornerstone of the alliance, a visible commitment to regional stability. The mood was professional, the mission clear. But then, on the horizon, unidentified contacts appeared on radar, closing in fast. It's a textbook example of what military analysts call gray zone tactics. Gray zone operations are actions that are coercive and aggressive in nature, but fall just below the threshold of what would be considered an act of war. Think of it as a strategy of 1,000 cuts. Instead of a direct military confrontation, which would be incredibly risky and costly, China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia actions and resolve of the United States and its allies. How will they respond? Will they back down? Will they escalate? Every encounter provides valuable intelligence for China on the alliance's rules of engagement and decision-making processes. counter message to Beijing: we will not be intimidated, we will not be pushed out, and we will continue to operate wherever international law allows. The presence of the U.S. Navy alongside the Philippine Navy is the key to this deterrence. It signals that an aggressive act against the Philippines is an aggressive act against the alliance itself, raising the stakes significantly for any potential aggressor. This shadowing incident is more than just a single news event. It's a catalyst that is forcing a major reevaluation of joint patrol strategy and the future of regional security. Planners in both Washington and Manila are now looking at this and asking tough questions. First, how can they improve their maritime domain awareness to see these things coming sooner? This likely means investing in more advanced radar, satellite surveillance, and unmanned aerial drones to provide a more complete picture of the operational environment. You can't counter a threat you can't see. Second, the rules of engagement are being reviewed. While de-escalation is always the priority, there needs to be a clear, pre-planned response for various levels of provocation. What happens if a shadowing vessel gets even closer? What happens if they attempt to block a ship's path? Having these responses worked out in advance removes ambiguity and allows for a swift, unified reaction. Third, this incident reinforces the need for more frequent and complex joint patrols. The old saying, "practice makes perfect," is absolutely true in military operations. The more the U.S. and Philippine navies operate together, the more seamless their coordination becomes. This might mean expanding the patrols to include other allies like Australia, Japan, or the United Kingdom, sending an even stronger message of collective resolve. The strategy is shifting from simple presence patrols to more dynamic deterrence patrols, designed not just to be there, but to actively demonstrate the capability and willingness to defend international norms. This encounter in the West Philippine Sea is a clear signal that the strategic competition in the region is entering a new and more challenging phase. As we look toward the future, these encounters are fundamentally reshaping the security landscape. The constant pressure from China's gray zone tactics is accelerating the modernization of the Philippine military. The path forward requires constant vigilance, continued investment in defense capabilities, and an unwavering commitment to the alliances that have kept the region stable for decades. This is a critical moment for the Philippines and its allies. The assertiveness we're seeing is not just a challenge to a few disputed reefs. It's a challenge to the entire rules-based international order. The response from the alliance will set the precedent for years to come. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.